Welcome to the Big Fat Gay Podcast, where we talk about the things that are weighing on our minds. My name is Dan Oliverio, author, public speaker, and chubby chaser. And today I am a mockingbird boy because we have mockingbirds in the trees outside our house, and they keep us awake at 2, 3, 4 in the morning because they're fucking.
I'm Trevor Keyson. I'm a super chub. And I'm also a mockingbird boy being mocked. I've been wearing earplugs to sleep, and that really helps. But there's a point, it's like 5:30, and I'm like, maybe I can take it out, and I'll take out one of my earplugs, and they'll still be at it.
Yeah. It's insufferable.
Well, my name is Michael Willer. I'm a chubby chaser, and I am a invading stray cat boy because there has been I don't think it's a stray, but there's a cat that's been wandering around outside our house at night, and Teddy sees it, and it comes right up to we have a glass door in the backyard, and they go face to face, and Teddy starts like growling at it, and it won't leave. So we just wake up in the middle of the night, hearing like him like hissing and spitting and growling at this like intruder. Nobody's getting any sleep.
You need mockingbirds. That's better to distract them both.
Hey there, I'm Don. I'm a big chubby guy living here in sunny Hollywood, and today I have just realized over the past 24 hours that I am a miso fanatic. Last month was my month to learn to cook with miso, and I seem to have gone crazy with it. Now it's like miso salad dressing, miso glazes on everything I make.
You become an umami fiend.
Miso soup at least once a day. I think I may have a problem.
Yes. First of all, we want to say thank you to our patrons and our partners. Remember, y'all can save 15% off your bearskin order using the promo code BigFatGayPod. And if you use our affiliate link on our website for our Big Fig mattresses, if you're in the market for a mattress. Thanks to everyone signing up for our Discord and our newsletter. We just had another 3 people this week sign up for the newsletter.
Excellent.
We're getting into the severals of dozens.
I mean, that's solid.
That's solid. No, it is increasing. And of course, the Discord, where you can keep closer tabs on us and be part of the conversation.
Yeah. We've got I think we're about to break 100 people in Discord. Lots of people signing up, and it's just nice because we're also I'm certainly noticing between messages I get on Bigger City and the Discord, a lot of new listeners. So if you're a new listener, welcome. We love you. Thanks for jumping in. Yeah. If you end up on the Discord, our editor David posted a kind of a short list of like hit episodes if you want to kind of like,
that's sweet
idea.
You don't have to go listen to like all 224 plus episodes if you don't want to. But there's, so there's a good list there. Maybe we'll post it somewhere else too.
Yeah.
All right. Shall we jump in?
Yes.
We have a very interesting pop culture today. I'm going to kind of start it backwards from how I sent it to everyone, because I first saw this story in it's NBC Palm Springs. Had a story about swim briefs making a comeback and embracing confidence and body positivity.
And we should just say as a little note, a swim brief is basically what the older people among us, like me, refer to as a Speedo.
Yes. Or banana hammocks.
Or budgie smuggler.
Yes.
Right.
There we go.
So Tim O'Brien, who's kind of one of the hosts of I think it's the Rogan Report.
Yeah, it's Rogan because it's Fred Rogan, not Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
And he has this little special corner of the internet affiliated with NBC4.
But so they're talking about Speedos and the shift in swimwear trends and body positivity, and then they bring on some of these other commentators to talk about it.
Oh, they sure did.
It is a very unpleasant segment, but I was like, what is this story? Because it was clear like, okay, they either are pulling from another story or
they didn't come up with this subject all on their own. Yeah.
Especially because they all seem to hate it.
And the article on their website, they don't source an article.
Yeah.
They're just talking generally about swim briefs are making a comeback. And they didn't come up with that.
And
certainly not.
So I did some research. I kind of was pulling some of the quotes and found it is from a clothing brand's website, and I think they must have done a press release blast for their new swim brief collection.
Yes.
So this is Fern Cow.
I don't know who the fuck knows.
FRNKOW. So we'll say Fern Cow.
It's extremely Semitic of them to take all the vowels out, really.
But it's actually like kind of for a press release that was probably written by AI. I feel like it's actually kind of like a nice thing. And they're talking about basically this new age of swimwear, men ditching board shorts, embracing body positivity, embracing the form and function of a, Speedo cut. And then they start trying to sell you on their version of this.
Yeah.
And then you should buy it here. Yeah.
And you should buy ours. So it's an interesting thing because on the one hand, you're like, oh, yeah, like male body positivity. We like that. But also it makes these claims, which they're not backed up by anything in the article, which is like men are really embracing their own bodies much more than they ever have. And they're much happier with how they look. And they're going to show it off with a Speedo. And it's like, I don't think that's true.
I agree with that.
Okay, but
hold on. I gotta jump on that one because I so agree with Michael. I was actually offended when I was reading that. I found it awful because it was like presenting like this is what men are now. If it was saying this is what men aspire to now, this is what men are working towards, then I would have taken that as a healthy thing. I was taking this as emotional blackmail. If you don't wear these, you are not this thing. You are ashamed of your body, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
That's
what I took from that article. I was so angry when I was done reading it.
100%.
Let me add a little gasoline there, Don, because in WeHo, there is a huge Aussie bum billboard.
Yeah.
And of course, it's a totally hot ripped guy wearing, you know what Aussie bum is. It's the swimwear that's always looked like this.
Yeah.
But how do you sell this in this new age? Well, what I like is they're recognizing that male body positivity is on the rise. And therefore, how do we sell them the thing that we've always wanted to sell them, which is these really expensive pieces of 6 inches of fabric? And so the slogan for Aussie Bum on this billboard, I'm trying to get it right. It's for basically for people who aren't afraid to show off their body, and not the idea like you have to look like this, but like you're not afraid to reveal yourself. But it's very much the blackmail you're talking about.
For the people we haven't abused into being embarrassed about themselves enough yet.
I mean, the line at the end of this kind of little blurb, it's the swim brief isn't just swimwear. It's a statement, a small but powerful gesture toward authenticity.
Oh, yeah. That's the other one that pissed me off.
Oh, yeah. I've actually got the slogan. You ready? Mm-hmm. So the slogan for Aussie Bum is, if you doubt yourself, wear something else.
Oh, that's worse.
Fuck them right in the ear.
How is that worse? Oh, my God. Okay, so I just want to throw this out there because in the context of our show, when we talk about body positivity, which I think we even tend to avoid that phrase because it's, a bit loaded, tied up in a lot of crap. But like when we talk about these kinds of subjects, we are coming at it from the perspective of the whole body, like everything about how you look when you walk around in the world. And especially in the NBC article in the comments they were making, they're not talking about your body. They're talking about your penis, which is on display when you wear this kind of garment. And so when I was reading the NBC article, I was like, this is so strange. What am I picking up on? It's not pretty. It looks like high school water polo players. Sure, embrace yourself. Be positive with your body. I'll just not look, says Jamie Baker. It's homophobia.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't want to see your dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The idea that somehow they have cast looking like a high school water polo player is terrible.
Why? I don't even understand that sentence.
Why would that be terrible?
Only women should be in bikinis. That's the vibe I'm getting.
Well, so I think it's beyond penis, though, because I did research. I'm like, who are these people?
Yeah. Oh, the straight white men?
The older fat gentleman who's on the right, Doug Baker. I went to his Instagram and the Instagram of Jamie Baker, who is his wife. And there's so much stuff and I kind of got the vibe because Jamie Baker has kind of a very kind of California, you can tell she's had some plastic surgery. And I'm like, the water polo thing I thought was weird, but I think there's also just a lot of weight related body image baggage in terms of at least the guy.
It is, but Michael's spot on. It's really about why would you want to showcase your penis? Look, everyone's got one. Let's stop talking about it. And by everyone, we mean all of us.
Literally, Doug, I guess, ended on men. If you're really lucky, all we have is a lump. I don't think we need to go out of our way to show off a lump.
Exactly. Stop talking about it. Stop.
He's like, it's not coded at all. It's literally just, I don't want to see your penis.
I'm kind of wondering if you would say the same thing about women's boobs being just lumps.
Yeah. So, okay. Once upon a time, there was an underwear store. It was Andrew Christian, and they had a little shop on Santa Monica Boulevard in our little home gay town. And there was this thing where it was Speedos, but they were padded.
Yeah.
It came with the padding built in. And sometimes it was padding in the ass, but most of the time it was padding in the crotch. And I was looking at it and I thought it was absurd. And the salesman comes up to me and in all seriousness, and I could not convince him otherwise. He was like, no, it's so that your dick doesn't show. I said, if it was for your dick wouldn't show, it would be made of burlap. There's actually a pad there. There is a pad in that particular area. He's like, yes, it's to make sure your dick doesn't show. No, it's not for that. Please stop it.
And it's made of tampon material, so it'll plump in water.
Yeah, exactly. It was so obvious that this is meant to be padding that's built into the suit.
Absolutely incredible.
I feel like it's going to sound like we're bashing on people who want to wear this stuff. For God's sakes, no.
We all wore these at BiggerVegas.
If you want to wear this and it makes you feel happy and excited, you freaking wear that thing. And if it makes you feel that way, you're going to look good. But you can't shame people into wearing things that make them feel uncomfortable. And I feel like that's what this thing was attempting to do.
I think it's just trying to sell people. And how do you sell people? You capitalize on a trend. There's a trend of male body positivity. We want to sell this, so we're going to link them. And that's as simple as that. They don't give a fuck about that.
I think it's about making people feel good about kind of vanity. I don't think anyone is going to be sold by this press release who's been on the fence about making the jump to wearing a Speedo. But I think it will kind of stroke someone's ego. Like, yes.
I think we've come all the way back around because, as Trevor said, it's this excuse for like, it's okay to be vain. Why would it be okay to be vain? Because the height of masculinity is never caring about how you look. And so it is this thing of like, you can't wear this and be masculine because masculine guys don't care how they look and you'd be caring how you looked.
Which is reinforced literally by the first line of one of their paragraphs, which is wearing a swim brief isn't about showing off.
Yeah.
Because if you were showing off, you would care how you looked.
And that's and men aren't vain. Men are never vain. Yeah.
Sorry. The strength of a garment lies in its integrity, not its embellishment. It's an actual line.
Now that's from the people trying to sell it. That's from Fran.
That's from the people trying to sell it. Yeah.
I also love the fact that they take a little sidetrack into like, they're so much more hydrodynamic than what you would normally, as though everybody wearing these things is racing in the Olympics that needs to slice off half a second off their lap time.
They're talking about so much more practical.
Right.
I think that's the main point to wear like either a Speedo or kind of like the box cut straight Speedo material swimsuit, because they do talk about no heavy fabric clinging to the legs. It makes such a difference to have the freedom to move and then also just not have like when you are going back to gravity as a very large person, coming out of the pool and having the like very long swimming trunk material, just, sopping wet and waiting for that to dry.
Yeah. I will say the one gripe that I have years and years ago before the 2022 BiggerVegas, we got custom swimsuits from Patrick Allen Wood, who unfortunately doesn't seem to be making them anymore. Yeah. But he made great swimsuits. And the only gripe that I have about the one that I have is that it's single lining. So it's a single piece of fabric. It's not double lined, which means it's more revealing, which is great for events like that. But I'm also finding that, I don't know, maybe I've just got thick thighs or something. But when I get out of the pool, it shrink wraps me way more, way more than. And so if
that's a feature, Michael.
I noticed that too.
It's okay. Now hold on. I've gotten to a place where I'm okay. Like I'll wear that thing and I don't think twice about it. Like walking around before I get in the pool. On the way out, though, it is truly like wearing nothing. It's just your skin is a different color now. That's about it. And so if I try and pull it away from me a little bit and then let it go back, it traps a bubble of air.
Yes. I got an air bubble trapped over my crotch.
Yeah, and that looks like ridiculous. So you're trying to like adjust in a way where it's like not.
Michael, the secret here is just stop playing with your crotch. Leave it alone.
It is so like, I mean, I'm just saying,
it's fine. It's
nothing
fine.
To the imagination. Nothing.
I also bought one of his swimsuits. I have the same experience as Michael. But that said, even with that, they were so much more comfortable than the other pair that I brought that even though that was an issue, I kept wearing those by preference.
Yeah, they're great.
And I find this is generally true of this kind of swimwear in general. Like ditch the board shorts. It's just, this is so much more comfortable.
I would not wear this in mixed company, I will say. I would wear this like at an event.
The one issue that I did run into with the shorts that we bought from him were that this past Vegas was the first time they saw a lot of regular usage, and the color washed off of them. So I have now. They look like a failed tie-dye experiment now.
I think part of that was I was seeing a lot of talk in the BiggerVegas chat about the heavy chlorine usage and how a lot of people actually, like there were people who had like some kind of chemical reactions.
Yes, on their skins. To make any swimsuit last the entire summer, you must thoroughly rinse it immediately after you get out of the pool. If you let it dry out of the chlorine, it won't last the summer.
I did do that. So, okay. Good to know.
Anyway, so I think it's interesting to track down like what the sources of all of these different articles are, because like the NBC didn't even quote where they were coming from. It's very weird.
I find it interesting that they used this one company's press release basically to inspire this, and they used photos from Speedo.
Yeah,
like the brand.
All right, let's get into some Fat Watch.
Fat Watch 2025.
This Fat Watch I really, really love. So I don't know if anyone remembers the Summer Olympics last year, 2024. There was a lot of various different viral moments. I know that we have Australian breakdancing is somehow still a thing.
Oh, God.
But on the maybe less fun side of things, the women's Spanish water polo team, they won Olympic gold. And it's the first time in years they took down the United States, which were the reigning champions. They just did an incredible job. But all people online seem to be able to talk about was that one of their forwards, Paula Leighton, is like a really like very built big woman, which they all are like, that is the build that you need for that role in the sport. Yeah. But all people would talk about is how manly she looked and blah, blah, blah. And like,
as far as the internet was concerned, she was just a fat girl in a swimsuit.
Yeah.
It didn't matter that she'd won the Olympic gold. Yeah. It didn't matter that her build is actually what is necessary for that position. In Spanish, it's called the buoy, that position, because you have to be big, smart, and powerful because you hold the team. And it is an incredibly prestigious position in this particular configuration of water polo. There's lots of positions. So basically, she's being made fun of for the very body that gets her the success.
Yeah. And she led the team to an Olympic gold. And like, it's a big fucking deal.
And she was interviewed on Spanish television. It was really great because the commentator is sort of a Spanish snarkier version of Graham Norton. I watched the interview in Spanish.
Even snarkier.
Because he's British, Graham Norton gives the illusion of being, polite and cordial. The Spanish version is not that polite and cordial. So, but very, at the same time, not combative. Like he's saying like, why don't we talk about this? And very solicitous.
Yeah.
And she was amazing. The thing that got huge applause in the audience was when she said, I got a big broad back, like they say, and these comments just roll off it.
Yeah. Which is such a phenomenal quote.
Yeah.
And so the reason we're talking about it right now is that on Olympics.com, they did an entire spread about this and about how she is, rather than like, okay, I'll handle the comments, she's using it specifically as a way to create a moment talking about acceptance and body diversity and realizing that her reaction to this, which was really just to, like let it kind of roll off her back and not let her take her down, was maybe for her the first step towards saying like, you can stand for something better. Like you can take these comments and turn them into something better. They have this whole article, which is incredible. And they also have an interview with her at the end, which it's in Spanish. So it's probably better to just watch it because they have subtitles. But she talks about how when she was a kid, like her whole family has the same figure as she does. Like it's very common.
Yep.
And so, growing up as a kid, like you get moments where like, I'm sure we're all familiar, like you go to a store and you're trying to get clothes that will fit your 10-year-old and that kid's clothing store doesn't have anything. And so she talks about this moment she had with her mom where it was like, hey, like, why can't we get something here for me? And her mom just said, yeah, they don't have something for you, but we'll find something somewhere else. Just simple.
Yeah. She is about 6'1" or 6'2" and 220 pounds, which if you think about it, given how muscular she is for what she does, that isn't really fat. She looks amazing. Yeah. There's some glamour pics of her as well. Yeah. But my point is, at 6'2" and 220, she'd be hard to fit in America. I will tell you from personal experience, trying to fit that in Spain, oh my God, they've never heard of such a thing. Bodies don't come that large in Spanish department stores. So I really sympathize with her, of how hard that must have been as a kid growing up.
I like that she's talking about how her family supported her, because now we're seeing the direct result of that. She is now doing for the kids and girls that are looking up to her, what her family did for her when she was a kid.
Brilliant.
I really love the photos.
They're beautiful.
The first one's kind of her in this lace crocheted transparent thing, and then her
that gown is gorgeous
in kind of like a sports bra with a leather bomber jacket.
Yeah, like such a cool look.
A dress and these black and white photos, and just kind of really showing her form in all these different materials.
And like the last one, she's just straight up flexing.
Yeah.
This is like, come at me, bro. Like,
yeah,
I could bench press you.
Like just flexing in an evening gown.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
It's true. Because, I mean, the one thing that comes across, the dominant look is power.
And one of the things I love about that last look, where it's her back to the camera, flexing like that, you can see just a hint of that earned Olympic tattoo on one of her arms, reminding you that this is an Olympic gold winning body.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. It's incredible.
So in our main topic today, we thought we would take one last look back at BiggerVegas through your eyes. We had a number of listeners, took a little time, think about their experiences in Vegas, and get back to us and let us know what they were thinking after the fact. So we've got a few postcards from Vegas to share with you.
Yay. So we haven't heard any of these, so I'm just going to start with what I've got first.
This is Danny, a listener from Vancouver that was returning to BiggerVegas for the first time for many, many years.
Hi, everyone. I'm Danny from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. I've been a listener of the show for a couple of years now, and it was such a pleasure to meet some of you at BiggerVegas. Thanks again for hanging out. I'm a chaser who rejoined Bigger City last year, so I could sign up for BiggerVegas. After my 17-year relationship ended, I went to the event by myself, not knowing anyone. What I was hoping for was to connect with the community, make new friends, and anything beyond that would just be a bonus. So on the first day at the welcoming party, I set a personal goal to talk to at least 5 people. At the end of the party, I talked to 9, and I felt really proud of myself.
Hey,
I love that.
Not every interaction went smoothly. Some people weren't interested, or maybe they were just shy. But I stuck with it because I thought, it's doable. What happened after was great. I had people to wave at and say hi to throughout the event. I met some of them for breakfast and dinner. We went to the evening event together and got to know them better. Through them, I met their friends and others they met at the event.
Oh, that's great.
Which helped me connect with even more people. I had some great conversations, learned a few new things from the younger guys, and I felt comfortable being able to share my stories with those I connected with. Hopefully, I'll be able to maintain those connections long term and continue on building my network.
Lovely.
Now, on the flip side, I also had some interesting experience. As a bit of a slow burner, I was a little bit caught off guard by how quickly things escalated in a couple of interactions. One happened at the welcoming party. A chub said hi, paid me a lot of compliments, asked if he could kiss me, and I said sure, and suddenly it was full-on tongue actions, repeated questions of, are you into me? And a request to make out at the back. I managed to politely decline and ran straight to the washroom to wash my face and calm myself down. And then at the Saturday pool party, I was introduced to an older chub who gave me a hug and asked if he could kiss me. Again, I agreed, and it quickly turned into a lot of touching, and he whispered in my ear that he wanted to fuck me. I declined and left the pool party to avoid any further encounters.
Yeah.
I saw him a couple more times during the event and avoided eye contact, or I walked away each time. Looking back, I might have overreacted. Chances are they're nice people, as they have friends after all. If they had approached things slowly and started with the conversation first, maybe I could have made a few more friends. That said, I get it. Some people go to these events looking for casual encounters, and that's totally cool. It just wasn't what I was there for. And now that I've been through that, I think I'll be more prepared next time to identify the situations early and decline without feeling pressured. It was nice to feel attractive, that people were interested, but I've learned I need to be a bit more careful about not getting swept up by flattery. Overall, BiggerVegas was really good. I felt a genuine sense of connection with a lot of people. I pushed myself out of my comfort zone, and I think I will go to another event.
Yay. Hey, that's awesome.
Thanks for writing in, Danny.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I just want to say that I've heard stories like that a few times about, you give a green light and all of a sudden you're off on the freeway.
Right. Yeah.
And I just want to say, I like that, he's not making anybody wrong for that. I will say that you don't have to then avoid the people. You actually can do this. And this, I know for some people, this would be too much to ask, but you can, they'll say like, do you want to make out or do you want to, and you can say something like, no, I'm just not looking for that right now, and let them walk away or let them pursue the conversation, because that may change their channel. And then they start talking to you like, we're having a conversation. What I'm saying is you don't then have to avoid them for the rest, because that's what happens. If you push the eject button, then you're kind of stuck pushing the eject button for the rest of the event.
I'll play devil's advocate here for a second.
Yeah.
I had an experience where there was a particular person who was pursuing me to the extent that I think felt socially acceptable, but only just barely, given my relationship status. And I think it was a weird thing because I didn't want to jump to an assumption of, hey, I need to remind you that I'm not interested or available. So that felt like a weird leap to make in a casual social context.
Yeah.
But he also would not let it go. And this is over the course of multiple interactions over the course of the whole week. So it's one of those, I don't want to just come out swinging, but also, can we just have a normal conversation? It was a weird experience.
That's definitely always tricky. But I think for your first time back at, BiggerVegas after it was done, was it 15 years?
17, yeah.
Partnered for 17.
Oh, wow.
That's always kind of like Dan said, you give the green light and suddenly we're off to the races. But I think that's kind of I think that sounds like a pretty great BiggerVegas. And I think in the moment that can be very oh, fuck, how am I going to get myself out of this one? But then I just think it sounds like such a great experience kind of going into something after ending such a long relationship and not having been at an event. I mean, I would try to do the 5-person thing. And after the first interaction that went bad, I would be like, nope, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I'm going to my room and I'm going to spend 3 hours deciding what I want on Postmates.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know. This made me so happy.
So one of the things that I just want to call out is something Danny did that I thought was super smart, was he came into it with a game plan.
Yeah.
What do I want? I want connection. Okay, how do I get connection? I'm going to talk to at least 5 people a day. Set himself a goal that he could act on. And here's what I think is most important, a goal that he could act on without anyone else's, no matter what anyone else does, he can still achieve this.
Yeah.
It's not dependent on other people's actions.
It's not, I'm going to go there and I'm going to get laid, which depends on someone else agreeing, right? It's something I'm going to go there and I'm going to take my shot, right?
Yeah.
That's something that you can act on and you can do. And he brought flexibility with his game plan. He wanted to talk with some people, but he left the door open for if I meet someone that makes me want to progress to the next thing, he left a door open to allow himself to do that, but didn't allow himself to be forced through any doors that anyone else held open for him. I think great game plan, great execution. I'm proud of you, man. You did good.
10 out of 10. I also want to highlight something that he said, kind of the result of that game plan, very early on, which was that you meet a handful of people and now you have people to wave at on the way by as you're moving through the space. And you cannot imagine how much of a relief that is, even if you don't stop and talk, even if you know that they're going somewhere else or you're just on the way from one place to another. Having a sense of, I can step out of the door of my room and not be amongst 100% strangers is empowering. And I saw that happen with other people who I knew were new to the event. I introduced them to people that I knew and the same thing happened.
Absolutely. It's the difference between attending and belonging.
Yeah, 100%. All right.
Yeah.
So this is from our listener who wrote in right before BiggerVegas, which was our episode just beforehand, about event nerves. So let's see what he had to say.
Hey, so as a friend of the podcast here, I wanted to call in to give some feedback on my experience from my very first BiggerVegas. I think honestly, my favorite part of Bigger Vegas was just being around other fat gay men. I mean, it was a safe space for me. It was honestly my first time seeing so many attractive men in one place. And it was a bit jarring at first, but now I definitely miss it now that the event's over. Going in, I definitely was nervous. I was worried really nobody would want me, but that fear turned out to be totally off base. I had actually multiple hookups with pretty minimal effort. So it actually turned out pretty nicely. I made some good initial connections, but I didn't walk away with a boyfriend. Maybe that was a bit of an overreach, but I still felt that, the event was affirming in a way that I didn't expect. I think in terms of advice for somebody else going for the first time, I'd say just do it. If something catches your eye, I'd say follow it. Say yes to the moment. I know that sounds really trite, but this is the kind of space that doesn't come around often, and it's more special than I realized while I was in it,
Brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. I just want to really hammer that point home. This is the kind of moment that we don't get a lot of. We almost never get it out in normal day-to-day life. And it's really rewarding to just seize the day and put yourself outside of your comfort zone. And I get it too, because my first Bigger Vegas, I was very cautious and I kind of stayed in my group and I regretted it afterwards. I had a good time. I enjoyed hanging out with those people and I met some new people within that group, but I realized far too insulated. And so this one, I went in with the total opposite mindset of I'm like similar as Danny, like I'm going to meet new people. I'm going to make a point to say hi to people on the elevator, even though that's, I kind of struggle with some of those like random interactions. And it was just so much more gratifying. Like even when you're so not comfortable with that normally, this is the time and place to do things outside of your comfort zone anyway.
Yeah, it's a very safe space. And speaking of safe spaces, lest this sound like a commercial for Bigger Vegas, there are lots of other events you can go to. There are smaller events. There are different events with different sexual temperatures. Yeah. There is an events page on Bigger City and there's an events page on Grommer if you want to know where you could go. And like I hear a lot of times from people like, I'm not a club guy. I don't want to go to a club. I don't want to go to a bar night. That's fine. I promise you, there are D&D groups. There are Chub Chaser D&D groups. There are Chub Chaser game nights. Yeah. Where they play board games. So there's lots of opportunities.
And other things.
And if you're like, oh, now I have to wait 2 years for another bigger. No, you don't. Cannonball's coming up. Chubchella's coming up. There's lots of other events on the calendar if you'd like to make your foray.
I mean, I agree with these things don't really come up. And I mean, that's part of the reason before we started recording today, it's Sunday, it's a Club Chub day. And like after being back at Bigger Vegas, I'm like, I want to go to Club Chub and like see people. Yeah. And I think if you're somewhere, you're not in a major city, these events aren't really happening. Like join our Discord, there's a lot of other kind of like Bear Gamer Discords, Gainer Gaming Discords, just because it's a way to have a touch point with the community between these big events.
And just to build on the idea of like, the Discord, I think a lot of people like hear Discord server and they're like, oh, it's gaming. It's just a space for people to talk and to organize. So like we have one of the people in the Discord is like, hey, we should do a Jackbox games night, which is like just really fun, silly social games that you can all stream together and play. And like, it's such an easy way to just have like a sense of community outside of an event where it's all about us. Like you can still get that in other ways, even if you're not in a major city that has a Club Chub or something else like that. All right, let's hear from Nick, my good friend Nick.
Hi, this is Nick from Boston. My experience at Bigger Vegas 2025 was simply incredible. As a big man, as a chub, I had never experienced being so free and open with my body at a gay event ever before.
Wonderful.
I've been to multiple more mainstream, if you will, gay events, cruises, parties. And I always felt like I was in the 95th percentile of BMI at these events. I felt just like I stuck out like a sore thumb being so big. And at Bigger Vegas, here I was actually probably in the 50th percentile in terms of BMI. I felt included. I felt safe. I felt seen in many ways. I went to the first night's pool party, and it was a lot of fun to see, but I still was holding myself back, and I actually didn't get in the pool. I kind of made an excuse to myself internally that, I was really tired. So I went back to my room, but the next day went to the vendor market area and saw that there were Speedos that actually were for my size. And I, on a whim, bought one. I bought a pair. And that night, I went into the pool in Speedos with my shirt off in public. And it was so enlightening. It felt amazing to be in my own body and to walk around without fear of potential ridicule that you experience from people's eyes looking at your body and noticing how different you are from other gay men. I don't have a six-pack. I have a keg. I don't have a chest of steel. I have moobs. And being able to walk around in an environment where I felt safe, connected, and to a certain extent, maybe seen and liked was a level of freedom I have never experienced. And it was so fantastic that I went the next day and bought another Speedo and wore it that night. And just being in one's body like this at my age, mid-40s, it just felt like such a relief. It felt like a community where I could just be me. And I think that's the biggest takeaway for Bigger Vegas is that having these spaces, one, is really needed. And two, I would love to have more of. I would love to feel like I could find this space on a regular basis, much like we see in, again, the more mainstream gay locales and events. So it was most certainly a fun, inspiring, and very fulfilling event.
So I have known Nick for a really long time, and he messaged me right before Bigger Vegas this year and was like, hey, I'm going. And I was really surprised, but I was also delighted. And I was like, all right, I'm going to find you. Like, this is going to be great. And he was like, yeah, I'm like really nervous. And like everybody, your first time, you don't really know what to expect. And it's
exactly.
I actually didn't even get a chance to go find him because I just bumped into him randomly at the bar on the opening night. And we talked and he was like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know anyone here. I was like, you know me and I know people here. And every time I see someone who I know who walks by us in this bar, I'm going to introduce you to them and then you'll know them too. And I think by the end of that night, I had introduced Nick to 4 people. And then those people had introduced him to people they knew who came by. And I think at the end of that first night, he had like 10 or 15 people to wave to for the rest of the event. We saw him in the pool. We got to hear about his Speedo story. It was amazing. It was so much fun.
I love that Speedo story so much. I will say to Nick, if you want Bigger Vegas vibes, there is a monthly event in Boston called Belly Party. It's the Belly Party on Instagram. It's like Club Chub. They do a monthly party, so you can get those vibes year round.
Yay.
This story I love it so much. It kind of makes me think of the Shrill pool party.
I was just thinking that. Yes.
Shrill. Yeah. It's hard not to think that.
I'll make a note to link to for people who haven't seen it. I love it. I'm so happy. And so we kind of called this episode in like the outline Postcards from Bigger Vegas. And it's so is this because it's like, it's just making me so happy getting these little little messages and reminders of why these things are so important.
Yeah. There's a wistfulness that kind of takes over. I think there's like a little bit of a crash after the event ends, and you're
very common.
You're thrown back into quote unquote real life, and it's very jarring. And then I would say within a week for me, there's just this wistfulness of like, man, it was so freeing to be there. And these postcards, these voice notes just take us right back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have one final one from our friend Mark, also from Boston.
Hi, guys. I think my overall experience for BiggerVegas was really great. It was incredible to see all the different body types that were on full display, from thin all the way to big boy. I really loved pretty much how friendly everybody was. Everyone was open. I didn't get like angry looks for existing, which was nice, especially in the smaller event spaces. The karaoke and board game events were really fun. We did Aqua Zumba every day, which I loved. I think that was one of my favorite events because it kind of got me excited to do something like that back home after the event, which was really cool. I definitely enjoyed the... Oh, sorry, I just got a vibrate. I definitely enjoyed the earlier parts of the event, like the first couple of days more. It was less busy. It felt like I saw some of the same people when it was less busy, which was really nice because you could say hi to people you had met before. And then as it kind of got closer to the weekend, it became a lot busier, a lot more crowded, and the pool was basically like overrun. I generally stayed away from anywhere where there was big crowds of people. That's just a me thing. I don't really like huge crowds. I still met a ton of people all the way till the last day on Sunday. And it was a little bit surprising that every single day you would meet a bunch of new people and be like, I've never seen you here, and I may never see you again, just because, you know, you're walking past the pool and there's a bunch of people, whatever. What I really liked about the event is everything was sort of concentrated on the hotel. We didn't do any of the stuff that was offsite, like the bathhouse or the nightclub. And for me, that was really comfortable to be at the hotel pretty much the whole time, and being able to Uber to other places, like for dinners and nice restaurants, whatever, going down the strip. That was really fun. I would say in general, it was a pretty relaxing trip, and I would definitely go again. I had a great time.
Nice. I'm very excited. So if you listen to the live episode, Mark's partner Kevin spoke up. So I'm connecting the dots for people that when Kevin sort of did his thing, he went to BiggerVegas for the first time 3 years ago. And then he said he brought his partner. This time that's Mark. And they're just the most delightful couple you will ever meet in your entire lives. They're amazing.
That's great.
I also love, like, Kevin is like the tiniest chaser and Mark is the biggest chub, and just the most satisfying, like a cartoon where like,
it's like if David and Goliath hooked up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or like, you just need to emphasize like chaser and chub.
Yeah. It gives you faith in the balance of the universe.
Yes.
No, what I love about this is Mark is speaking my language. It sounds like, you know, his first time in the event is where I have come down over and over again, where I don't like the crowds. I don't like the screaming loud ear bleeding music. And so I guess I'll only be with 600 guys instead of 1,000 guys. What I mean is that like there's so many people that even when you go off the beaten track, there's still plenty of people to talk to. And it doesn't feel, you leave the crowd and you just have a lot of people to still talk to. It's very easy to interact at your own speed. Again, the same thing with me. I don't go to a lot of the offsite stuff. In past BiggerVegas, they had a lot of tours like, oh, go see the Hoover Dam, go see the Grand Canyon, go take the helicopter, all these things. And they've pared that down so that they will make it available to people on their own dime if they want to go. But, you know, they're not running tour buses to all these tourist attractions, which is fine with me because I've spent so many events. I never left the compound and I was fine.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, what's unique about this kind of event versus like a vacation to Vegas is the people who show up there who are largely at the hotel. And hotel is like maybe not the right word. It is a complex. It's a massive, like, you know, there's all of these like spread out areas. There's like the little lap pool, which is its own separate space. There's all of the different rooms that different events happen in. You can always find something that is your speed pretty much day in and day out. If you like, for instance, I live here. I know the drill. You don't go outside in the summertime during the daytime. You just don't. So like I was inside in the air conditioning. I went into the pool at night. It was perfect, if a little too cold, but
really, that shocks me.
And you wouldn't think like in the pool, you think like
the lap pool wasn't.
The lap pool. No.
Well, no, the regular pool too. The regular pool was chilly. Yeah, Michael and I were glommed onto each other for warmth as much as anything else.
In Vegas. Well, I guess did it feel so good when you get out and get warm? That's weird, but yes.
I mean, once you dry off, it's fine, but until you dry off, it's terrifying.
One of the things I really loved about Mark's write-in about his experience also was that he really listened to what he wanted in the moment.
Yeah.
Right. And he didn't sort of like let himself get swept along with the crowd. If you know you're not a crowd person, there are certain events there that are just not going to be for you. Right. And he respected that. He listened to what he needed. And he made the event perfect for himself. Yeah.
I think that's perfect, Don, because the two ways to kill a good time at an event like this is FOMO.
Yep.
Like I should be somewhere else doing something else that will kill you. Or this idea of, it's just me. There's no, like anything you're feeling, everybody else in the room is feeling too. So it's okay. You can talk about it. You can talk about how you're feeling.
A quick thank you to everybody who wrote in and shared their experiences.
Yeah.
I hope that everyone else that was considering going to one of these events, take what Dan said under consideration. You don't have to wait for the next BiggerVegas. There are other events at various cities across the country. Some may be closer to you. Some may be just right for you. Heck, might be there's one in your backyard. You never know.
Oh my God, looks in their backyard.
We've had people talking before about certain websites that you can find other activities, like meetup.com apparently is a good one to find hobbyists or other chaser groups in your area. Start a Chub Chaser gaming group. Make your own party.
Yep.
There are plenty of options.
If you don't have a whole lot of local community, again, you can find us online too.
Trevor, do we have a bit today?
You tell us.
Excuse me, do we have a tip today? Wow.
I'm the bit now. I don't know. I find some community, find some fun. Put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Just step out of your house and say, I'm here, world.
We need to think of BiggerVegas like Christmas. Carry it in your heart all year round.
Yes.
So as our bit today, I thought we would take one last quick look back at Vegas itself. Guys, we spent a good chunk of time in Vegas. What was the most Vegas-y thing that happened to you in Vegas while you were Vegasing?
I got it.
So, for example, I've actually talked about this before, but this was such a Vegas moment to me. I'm holding on to it. So at Bigger Bash in Vegas last time, I was walking through the lobby and somebody said something very complimentary to me. I was feeling good about myself, right? So I was walking a little bit of extra step, and I was walking past the lounge act. The Dean Martin impersonator came out and threw a little flirt my way. I forgot who it was. I think I remember hearing the word ring-a-ding-ding, something like that. And it was just a quick in passing, but I'm like, Dean Martin flirted with me. All right. I'm feeling this place.
That's right. That's
pretty Vegas.
Yeah. Mine is very low key, so I should put it in here so that everybody can top me, so to speak.
Long pause.
So I think the most Vegas thing that happened to me was I wanted coffee. There is a Starbucks pretty much across the street from the Tuscany. I mean, it's across the street in like down 100 yards, but it's really across the street, except it's Vegas. And I am not walking there in the heat because at like 9 or 11 o'clock in the morning, it's already in the 90s. Easily. And now, to be fair, I passed in my car people from the event who were walking there.
Bless their hearts.
I ain't doing that. And then like to walk back with hot coffee in the heat. No, I'm not doing that. So, but the most Vegas thing to me was driving across the street to get Starbucks because it's too damn hot to walk.
There is no shame in that. None whatsoever. Look, this is one of the hot, people sort of forget, this is the Mojave Desert.
Yeah.
This is one of the hottest places on earth. Like there's no shame in trying to stay in the air conditioning. It is literally a life-saving technology.
No shame. There's no shade.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the most Vegas-y part of this trip was discovering that across the street from the Tuscany, there is a 24/7 nail salon.
24/7?
Which, yeah, just like 24 hours, 7 days a week. And just, I was like, it kind of consumed my mind throughout the trip, thinking of like, is it really 24 hours? And like, who is going? Like, I can see
people. It's 1,600 guys, 10 fingers each hand, 10 toes on each foot. That's a 24 hours, 7 days a week business.
Well, I'm just thinking of like, I don't know, bridal parties doing like the girls' trip to Vegas.
Oh, wow.
And like I'm like, let's go get our nails done. And just kind of like shambling around their now giant claws. Like, woo! And just like throwing their arms up and like cutting off some old woman's head at a penny slots.
Because what's more Vegas than giant nails and clip-flops?
Yeah.
All right, Michael, as our resident Las Vegas resident, what is the most Vegas-y thing you saw?
So this wasn't during the event. This was the week before. I took Michael out for his birthday, and part of the birthday plans were we went to see a stand-up comedian perform at the Encore Theater at the Wynn. Now, we've done this a few times. We've seen a handful of different. We saw John Mulaney. We saw Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. Anyway, so we've seen a number of people, and Vegas audiences are not, at least for stand-up, are not the best.
No.
Like, a lot of times it's like drunk tourists, people kind of wander in, wander out, like not a great attention span. And so, but we're locals and we're there to like experience a show. And it's weird because they can't, like a lot of the normal patter you can't do, like, oh, we love this city. And it's like, well, but most people aren't from here and don't really care that much.
Yeah.
So like it's just weird. It's hard to build a rapport with audience. But we went to see Tiffany Haddish.
Oh.
Now, that was a different experience altogether. She had a DJ on the stage literally for the whole show, but like beforehand as well. He was pumping the crowd up, literally party atmosphere style. Like people were dancing in their seats. They were singing along before the show started. And then her warm-up acts were incredible. One of them is a trans woman who travels with Tiffany and has done stand-up like in the Deep South and like tells a story about being caught, on a plane with literally 20 MAGA hat wearing guys, ended up hooking up with one of them.
Whoa!
So like just amazing stories. And you're just like, this is wild. What is happening? The energy in this room is electric. People are so into this. It is so different. And then Tiffany comes out and that feeling like when you see somebody who is of that caliber in their element and like you've just watched other people perform and they did great and they're killing. And then you see the headliner come out and you're like, oh, okay. Like just instantly captivated the room. She was incredible. She's so, so funny. But I think that just the Vegas part of it for me was like, she totally flipped the paradigm. Like that show brought down the house and that having been to at least 3 or 4 of these by now, that is not what I was expecting. I thought she'd be good, but I thought it would be the similar kind of cold, distant Vegas audience that you kind of get, but no. She was amazing.
That's awesome. I love that. I've heard great things about her performances. So, hey, Trevor, if somebody here is looking for tickets to see Tiffany Haddish, where can they tell us about it?
Well, we're on Instagram and Blue Sky as at Big Fat Gay Pod. We're on Facebook as the Big Fat Gay Podcast. Leave us 5 stars there. Leave us 5 stars or a review on your preferred podcast platform. See the articles we talked about at Patreon. Also support us on Patreon at patreon.com/BigFatGayPod. And see the articles we talked about at
BigFatGayPod.com.
No.
The website.
You know where to go.
You never say it. You never say it.
People know. People know, Daniel. Maybe, but you're going through your own mail and you have a big stack of postcards and you're flipping through them and it's the desert and something in distance, you flip to the next one, it's the desert and you're flipping through the stack and it's the same picture, but something's getting closer and it's Michael and he's coming out of the postcard. It's Freddy Krueger style.
Watch out.